So welcome everyone. Here we are so fortunate to have Casper Schmidt. Casper is the founder of QCC Group, and he's actually part of the advisory board for the Hotel Management School here at Blue Mountains and Torrance University. So Casper, please introduce yourself. Just give us some information about your background, who you are, and your relationship, in fact, with Torrance.
My name is Casper Schmidt. I'm the founder and managing director from QCC Collection Group. Been going for about 6.5 years now in my business or businesses. Prior to that, I was in corporate for many years, worked my way up through hotel management, started in kitchen, ended up as GM, then moved on to COO and then CEO for a couple of different groups around APAC. I've launched quite a few brands in my time and had a lot of fun with that. I basically came to Australia in '98 and I graduated at Blue Mountains International Hotel Management School in 2000 and 2001 when I finished my degree.
So Casper, you're here because we consider you to be an example of a successful entrepreneur. What would you attribute the success that you've had? What would you attribute that to?
I think many things, to be honest with you. I think school's one thing where you get a good structure, you get a good foundation. Mostly, I think what I got out of school was also a network, which was incredible. And hospitality, although a lot of people say the world is very big in that space, is actually quite small. We actually all know each other. I always, I think throughout my career, wanted to do something on my own. And I had that sort of seed inside of me where I was like, okay, I need to do something at some stage. When I turned 40, I, for some reason, decided that the corporate life was sort of maybe over for me and I wanted to try something else. And I set up my consultancy business based out of Asia. Just been going ever since. But I think if you have that hunger, you need to just go for it. We're only here once, so we're gonna give it a go.
Tell us about QCC Group.
Sure. So we started in 2019 with consulting to hotel owners, predominantly in Asia. Hong Kong and China, and then grew into a more sort of lean consulting business throughout COVID. And then after COVID, we expanded again and went into a more commercial space where we are working with hotel owners who are in need of help with management contracts, hotel management contracts, leases, or any commercial terms in that space.
So it definitely sounds like you're using, all of that experience that you did get from corporate, kind of packaging it to help others, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Look, there's no doubt about that. I think that you get trained when you work with certain hotel groups, different hotel groups, you get trained in all different aspects in that matter. I think I've taken something from anyone I've worked with and then created my own setup. And we really want to see the owner or the investor succeed. So we don't just take get appointed to a project and just deliver that and then walk away. We actually stay on 6 to 12 months after, and that's part of our agreement.
So Casper, you're a great example of someone, you've mentioned this to us, who's made quite a major transition, right? You've had all this experience and success in corporate, and midlife hits and you make this leap. That proposal is a bit frightening for a lot of people. So we really want to start with, what does it even mean to someone like yourself who's done it? What does the term entrepreneur mean to you?
I think entrepreneurship can be viewed in many ways. I think you have to want to give it a go and you need to be risk averse to do that. So I think many people start up, but they don't have a safety net around them saying, okay, well, we're just going to open a company and see how it goes. For me, I was like, okay, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to have enough money to operate for 12 months as a minimum when I start. And if it doesn't work out, well, then I haven't closed any doors behind me. I can always come back and rejoin a corporate hotel group with my background. If you have that hunger, then that is something that's going to drive you even further. And I think when you're out on your own, you set up your business, then, the days that we used to work in hotels, which would be 12, 14-hour shifts or whatever it is, double shifts or running hotels, etc. When you're an entrepreneur, you work 24 hours. So I say sometimes I work 48 hours in a day because everyone wants something out of you and you need to deliver. And so I don't mind that, but it's a mindset shift and you really need to put that hat on.
How did you develop that mindset? Where does that come from?
I think the tenacity and I guess that mindset of driving everything. I've always had that in business. I ran my hotels very, like, I think they were very efficient. We were very revenue driven, and we always were able to look after new like revenue streams. I think that the idea is always that you try and create more than what you did yesterday. And if that's the mindset, then I think you're going to succeed. I'm not saying that it's you have to do it the way I did it, but at the end of the day, if you're an entrepreneur, you have a good idea, give it a go. You can fail 10,000 times, but if you succeed once, you're happy. Everyone's, you feel that success. At the end of the day, you got to just really believe in what you do. And I think, when I started out, my son was 8 years old. He's at school. I have a mortgage. I'm like, okay, I got to be smart about what I do. And that's just, I guess, the calculated risk that you bring into the picture. But I mean, in today's world, with everyone being on their phones, doing all these creative things, doing apps, doing all this stuff, there's no reason why you need to give anything up. You can probably do what you do and just keep on creating.
I think that's so important for people to hear from someone who's actually doing it, because so much of what's sold to people on social media is this whole idea that it's this, I gave up everything and it was sink or swim. I think people really need to hear a lot about the reality of it. It's absolutely fine. You are still being an entrepreneur if you have a backup plan, if you've kind of planned it out as you did.
I think that also in hotel management or hospitality, it's people's business. So if you close a lot of doors behind you when you leave corporate, you're not going to have a lot of business going forward. So I think you got to be smart about what you do in that space. At the end of the day, AI is great, robots are great, but it's a human interaction in hospitality that's going to make a difference going forward.
A big part of what you're describing to us, and a big part of what we discuss in entrepreneurship, is this whole idea of creativity and innovation. Kind of thinking outside of the box to spot opportunities and act upon them. What's your advice on that? Like, what advice would you give to students who might feel like they're not that creative, they're not that innovative? Could entrepreneurship still be for someone like that? Is that something? Yeah.
I think with open mindset, then everyone can open their own business. They can be smart. They have the background, or they've gone through education, etc., to then have a background to try and do that. But also, don't forget, some people, they don't want to do that. And it's perfectly fine. But I think throughout the subjects, etc., you get a better idea of what's on offer, and also how you can be creative.
So in the midst of that, and what you just said, needing to be different, needing to be innovative, trying new things, there's always that chance of failure, of mistakes, of things not going well.
Sure.
What's your advice there? Like, what role do you feel like what people refer to as failure, what role does that play in innovation and in entrepreneurship?
Okay, I think we need to, you need to focus on the word adaptability. We need to be adaptable to any situation. As an entrepreneur, you need to turn around 360, 180, whatever it is on the dial. You need to be able to be creative in that space to be successful. Try 10 times, fail, no problem. The 11th time, you're not going to fail. You know what didn't work the other 10 times, and now it's actually going to be a success because you've been through it. It's fine. Failure is fine. It's how you adapt to that.
What have you noticed as far as trends on an international perspective as far as how people approach entrepreneurship?
It's different in different countries, I guess. I spent a lot of time in Japan. It's very fast-paced. A lot of things are done on apps and stuff, but then you have the complete opposite, which is the old-fashioned Japanese ways of doing things. So you can be in businesses where they have all the tools, but they just follow their job description. So they're not really entrepreneurial going outside of that space, right? So they might be able to reply really fast to an email, but if you want to change them beyond what they are meant to do, then that takes months. So I think different countries has different layers. Thailand is very open-minded. Vietnam as well. It's really fast-paced, and I think there's a lot more entrepreneurs coming out of Vietnam in particular at the moment than other places.
Right.
Here in Australia, I think we're creative. There's a lot of entrepreneurship happening, but it's more grounded, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like you have guerrilla marketing, which is really wild. It's almost like guerrilla entrepreneurship, like in Vietnam and spaces like that. They're quite crazy, and it's great.
Wow,
I love it.
No, I can tell you do. Do you feel like because we're in what where we're sitting right now in Sydney is soon to be what we're calling the sort of tech hub of the city with investments by our neighbors Canva and Atlassian and the like. Do you feel like students studying here or even other parts of the country with Torrens, is there any insights that you would want them to learn from Vietnam or these other places?
Well, I think, at the end of the day, when they're here, but they need to go and knock on the doors. They need to not be afraid of, asking questions or, mostly important, if you go for a job interview, turn up for the job interview as first. That's a good start. But I think generally you need to just knock on doors and send out cold emails. I say this to anyone I'm in, any business I'm in, cold emails are still king. It's amazing how much you actually get out of them. But that's just, it's part of the industry and part of what people need to do.
Any other mindset shifts that you think young people should have as it pertains to being more entrepreneurial?
Patience is a virtue in anything, right? And I think generationally, like the shift is quite profound when it comes to what our generation thought we could do and what this generation can do and the one in between. So I think you have to be open-minded, but also respectful towards who you are going to engage with at any time, right? So I think it's you have to have a mindful, care about who you interact with in any space, but you need to really push the boundaries a little bit. And I think for myself, I need to be educated. I get educated by young entrepreneurs who are looking at things much faster than I am. They are pushing the boundaries in all those spaces. So if you, and hopefully you do get through to someone that you can talk to or mentor with, you'll probably find that they will learn a lot more from you than we feel that we give back to the mentee, to be honest.
Wow. So this is the biggest thing, what you're referring to right now, what you're talking about right now, and this subject, introduction to entrepreneurship and introducing people to the entrepreneurial mindset. So what's your overarching advice? Like what's, to future and potential entrepreneurs looking to study this subject? What are the main things that you want to pass on to them? So you've mentioned some specific things.
Sure.
Taking a bit more initiative, guerrilla mindset. Sounds like actually seeking mentorship. Is beneficial. What would be the overall advice basically?
Most of us are not going to work that out when we're 15. You got to take your time and work around patience and what you do in the space in your career. Get a bit of foundation, etc. And when you're then ready, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you know it. If you want to make money on your own and not pay somebody else that money, then you have it and you got to give it a go. I think you need to be persistent and you need to be really, really clear in your mind what it is that you're trying to do. If you understand your space, you understand your segments, and you have the tenacity and push, I think you'll be successful. And then again, it comes back to what success you want. It's not what somebody else tells you down the street, or you're told, your business has to be worth 10 million in 2 years. Why? Could be that you're just so happy running your own business. You're paying all your bills, everyone's happy, everyone is looked after, you can do what you want, you can buy a car if you want to, or whatever it is. It's just all a mindset scenario, I think, set up.
Casper did not intend this, but the slogan here at Torrens University is love what you do. And we're very fortunate to have a living example of that to share insights with us. I hope you really take some of these major nuggets from what Casper has shared. And Casper, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me, mate.
Thanks.
Cheers.